Hey everybody, my name is Jerry and welcome to 3D HP. I printed the bigger castle. I have quite a bit of filament from YouSu Filament. They've got some really nice silk filament, so I thought why not use up a bunch of it that I have and print another castle. Here about, I don't know, 3 years ago or so, I printed the smaller one. I'll have a link in the description below where you can find this over on Thingiverse. I printed this for my wife, and when you download this model, it has a big long base underneath it. And I put this in Netfab, or I don't remember if it was S3D, one of the two. I dropped it down to the build plate. I cut most of that off, and so I could kind of concentrate on the castle. But one issue I had when I made this is, when it got about yay tall, I had a layer shift. So I dropped the model back in the slicer, which I'll show you in a minute how I did that. I cut off the top portion, I glued it on, and if you look very carefully, right across here, all the way across, you can see where I had glued it back together. The parts didn't line up perfectly, but it came out pretty good. It's a little dusty here. It's not all cleaned up. And then on some of these towers here, the pillars that hold up these roofs, a couple of them didn't print out right. But overall, it came out pretty nice. My wife's been very happy with it. So I went ahead and on my CR10 Max that I have here, I went ahead and I printed one out at 110%. It's been printing for 11 days now, Octoprint tells me. I was keeping track on it every day. And I've got 2 rolls. There's silk filament from YouSu down here. There's silk rainbow. 2 rolls. Almost a complete roll of gold. I've got a bronze and then a silk blue. So on the rainbow, I used all the spools. There was maybe yay much left over when I swapped filaments. And then when I got to the gold, which there ain't much left here. Where is the gold one at? Okay, the gold one, I used it all the way up. And then I got into the bronze, and there's not much left on the spool here. There's like 2 rows. It was getting really low. It was late at night, and I went ahead and swapped it out. And then when I got into the blue here, you can see I used over probably 3/4 of the roll. There's still a little bit blue on it. And if you're wondering, well, why do you have that over here on the Kaiwu and you don't have it up here in the spool holder? Well, when I had the spool on top of the Max and it looped down and was going to the filament runout sensor, for some reason the edge of that was shaving the filament. And I had a little bit of filament everywhere, so I was losing some filament. And there is no place to put a Capricorn tube in there or a PTFE tube for a guide. The hole is too small. And one other thing I did on this, on most of my printers, I have filament runout sensors, whether they're stock or I bought them from TH3D, which I love their products. Then they're filament runout sensors, and they're easy ABLs. I put them on. That way, when the filament runs out, their print will pause, the bed stays hot. It doesn't matter how many days it is, it'll sit there and wait on you to replace the filament. A friend of mine, Trevor, from Navari 3D Printing, has 2 or 3 of these CR10 Maxes. They got some tiny machines down in Texas, and he said on his machines that if he allowed the filament runout sensors to trip, quite often he would have layer shifts and the print started back up. I don't want to go through a layer shift and lose a lot of filament, so I went ahead and I unplugged the filament runout sensor. The filament still goes through the sensor into the hot end, but I go to the control panel to settings and I slow the print down to like 5%, 5 or 10%. It's printing really slow. I try to do that on the inside layer when it's doing infill, not a perimeter. And then I simply squeeze the extruder like you do when you add filament. I pull it out really quick, take the new roll, stick it back in, I shove it into the nozzle, and then I go over to settings and I speed it back up to 100%. It takes probably 10-15 seconds for the machine to respond, and then it picks up back up to full speed. And that's how I've been swapping filament on my CR10 Max. I bought this used from a friend of mine here in Vegas. I traded for some things. I done some work for him, and then I paid cash for the rest and bought it. And I've had a bunch of different issues with it, with the hot end clogging and different issues, but right now it seems to be printing great. I have a flex sheet on it I got from Trevor, Navari 3D Printing down in Navari, Florida. He has a store there in the mall, and he sells these build plates, so he was nice enough to give me one for a birthday present. So I've got that put on it, and so you take the print off, we can take a look at it. If you can see right here in the front, there's a few little trees that are out here on the build plate in the middle. The reason those are there is when I sliced this in Netfab and I cut the model, I forgot to delete those, so they printed on the bed. But I haven't done any post-processing yet or anything on it. It's just loose, so it's cooled down. I got done this morning, but you can see a little bit of stringing here and there. I took a CR10 profile on this Max when I got it, and I tweaked a few settings like the build plate size and such. So I still have some work to do on the settings, but I did have the same problem. When it got over here on these pillars, on these towers, the nozzle hit them and knocked them over because they're very small. And silk filament sometimes is fairly brittle, so could be a combination of both. Now, if you enable Z-hop on your printer, when it prints a small area, the nozzle actually picks it, moves over, comes back down. So if I would have enabled Z-hop, that wouldn't have happened at all. But yeah, came out great. I don't seem to have any layer separation. Just a little bit of stringing, that's typical for a model, but most of the pillars came out really good. Now, if I would have had enough rainbow, I would have done the whole thing in rainbow and probably just left it like that on the shelf. But I think I'm going to prime this and paint it. You know, I'll hit it with, once I clean up all the supports and everything, I'll hit it with a gray primer. I'll prime it up really good. And then I will paint it white again. I'll airbrush it all white since there's so much area there. And I'm not going to rattle can it white because that's enamel. And I can't put acrylic paint over top of enamel. Because like James from Honey Badger did, he accidentally did that on one of his Iron Man models. And it kind of bubbled up and it ruined it. You can put enamel over acrylic, but you can't put acrylic over enamel. And rattle can paint is enamel. So I'll prime it gray, and then I'll go ahead and paint it white. I'll probably do all these domes in a blue. The door, I'm not sure what color. Then of course the path, the trees, the ground, that'll get painted similar to this other model here. And I'll keep this in the computer room so when I have my hangouts, my videos, you guys can see it. But bottom came out nice. I don't know what it weighs, but it's pretty heavy. Like I say, it's almost 5 full spools of filament, 1.75 millimeter. I sliced this in Simplified 3D. My layers on it, what you call shells and cura, were 6-4-4. 6 top, 4 bottom, 4 perimeter with 5% infill. And here on the screen and at the end of the video, I'll show you more pictures along the way when it was printing so you can check them out. But yeah, it came out really nice. And when you get these files off Thingiverse, they were posted 4 or 5 years ago. I forget the man's name, but I'll show you a picture here on the screen. I'll have a link below in the description. You can print this a lot bigger if you want. I mean, it comes cut up in pieces. So if you want to print this thing huge, like this picture right here, one of my relatives, Ed Nellis, he's an awesome painter here in Las Vegas. And somebody had approached him about painting their model, and they painted it. I don't remember how big it was, like 200 or 300%. It was a huge model, as you can see there in the picture. On his table, Ed went in and puttied up all the joints on it when the man glued it all back together, and he painted it up, and he's an amazing painter, done an awesome job on it. And you know, I didn't want something that big. I you see with all the stuff that I don't have room for it. But this is a nice size. It's a real good size right here to put up on the shelf for display. And then I can take my wife's, put it back in the living room. But yeah, let me jump over here on my computer and I'll show you what I did with S3D and, you know, cutting it in Netfab. Okay, I've downloaded the model off Thingiverse, and one thing nice about this model, it comes in many pieces. So no matter how big you want to print this, it's already cut up in many pieces. Or you can take, you know, print it in one piece like I'm going to do. So basically I've dropped it in here on my build platform in Simplified 3D. This is for my CR10 Max. And I simply double click on the model. And I come up here to where it says Z offset. And on this particular model, this didn't work for me because it locked at my computer. But you simply hold down the Z offset or type in where you want it to go. Drop it below the build surface. Add whatever height you like. And basically, once I go to slice that now, if it would process it properly, it'll cut it right there. And then I will just have what I want up top. Now, what I wound up using was Netfab, since Simplified 3D didn't want to do it. But this works great for all your models, all slicers. You can drop things below the build volume, whether you just want to make the bottom smooth or you need to cut off something. It's very simple and easy to do this. And I would just come over here and hit prepare to print and it would slice it. But since I was having trouble with Simplified 3D, I went ahead and I opened up Netfab. And let's see, let me make Netfab bigger here so you can see it. And when I drop the model into Netfab here, I simply come up here to my Z, And as you can see the green line there, I would just drop it down to about where I wanted to have it cut. And I'd come over here to cut all parts. Shouldn't do that again. Put it about where I want it to go. I'll hit the cut tab, give it a second. And it's working. And there it cut the model. So now when I click on the top section, right there in the center, see I've got it separated. So I can come down near the bottom section, I can right click, I can simply hit remove. That goes away. And then I've got my cut model here. Now if there's anything around it that I don't want, I can simply cut that also and then save it. But basically there you have it. So then I would come up here, right click on it, export part as STL right here, and then I simply load that in my slicer, slice it, and I'm good to go. So that's basically how I do that in NetFab. When you have a model and you put it in a simplified 3D or a lot of programs, if the bottom is kind of rough or it's not completely flat, all you have to do is to drop below your build plate just a couple millimeters, whatever it takes for whatever you're slicing, you get a perfectly flat bottom. And then when you slice it, all that area below the build plate that you see on the screen, obviously that won't print just from the build plate up. That's a great way to flatten models on the bottom. But they've done a wonderful job. YouSu Silk filament, my temperatures were 210 degrees, 60 degrees on the bed. Done a wonderful job. So, and I went into when I went into NetFab, which NetFab, there's a paid version and a free version. So if you use the free version, you can go in and you can slice things up, you can cut anything up, very simple. There's Luban as a paid software that also does great work at cutting everything up. NetFab is very simple to me, and I've used it for 4 or 5 years now. I just went in, I found where I wanted to cut the model, I cut it right there, and I just saved the top half that I wanted to keep as an STL, dropped it in S3D and sliced it, and wham bam, you're off to the races. My computer is right here, my printers are here. I usually have a Raspberry Pi set up on whatever printer I'm working with. I have 3 or 4 Pis, and ran it that way, and it said it was going to take 11 days. I didn't want to do a octo-lapse on it because it would take too long. Already printing for 11 days. If every layer it's got to park the nozzle, take a picture, do the next one. It would look really cool, but it would take a really long time to do that on it, so I didn't do that. I'm not sure if I'm going to show it. I have to check the quality of it, but I got a quick video here. I got a camera here with tape, with electrical tape on the side, C270 I believe it is, and I taped it going up real quick, so I'll probably throw that on the video there. But yeah, I'm just kind of babbling on now, but yeah, it came up great. The filament's wonderful. It printed really great. I've got more stuff to print with their filament. And yeah, the castle's a great option. If you want to do this for a Christmas present, or for a wife, or a husband, or a grandma, or grandpa, or your grandkids, it's a really cool castle. It's a great model. And a lot of older models that are on Thingiverse, poly count and the way they're shaped, they're real blocky. They're not that great. This is an awesome castle. It's completely beautiful. I've always loved this particular castle. And then when I go to paint this, I'll simply Google castles, and I'll check out some pictures of castles. I'll find one that I like, and I'll base my painting off that picture. It won't look exactly like it, and I'm no professional painter. I'm an average painter, and I'll do the best I can do, and I think it'll come out pretty good. So yeah, we got the little one here, and we got the bigger one. But yeah, I think it's a beautiful size, and I don't know, maybe learn something today. Maybe I said something like, wow, I didn't know that. So if I even help one person out with something I do in a video, that's awesome. I really, I enjoy helping people all that I can. And if you want to help me out, please like, subscribe, and share. I'd really appreciate it. And happy printing, everybody. You have a great day. Thank you. And another thing, if you guys are wondering why, damn, he's getting fat. Well, there's a reason why I'm eating so much milk and cookies. I'm growing my beard back out. I got my hat. It's almost time to start delivering presents. So that's my only excuse for why I've gained so much weight.